Welcome to Growing Tall Poppies, Thrive After Trauma. I'm your host, Dr. Nat Green, and I am so excited to have you join me as we discuss what it means to navigate your way through trauma or significant challenges and not just survive, but to thrive after it. This is a space for people who've been through trauma or adversity, have done some healing, and know they're meant for more than just coping. This podcast is about post-traumatic growth, not getting back to who you used to be. Rather, understanding who you are now and learning how to stand tall without shrinking, forcing, or abandoning yourself. Here, we explore identity after adversity, integrity and visibility wounds, nervous system wisdom, and what it really takes to move forward in a way that feels aligned, embodied, and true. You will hear a blend of deep solo conversations and powerful guest interviews with people who have lived this work, not just studied it. Because growth doesn't come from pushing harder, it comes from understanding how you adapted, honouring your nervous system, and gently updating the old agreements that no longer fit the life you're ready to live. If you're ready to stop hiding, stop performing, and start owning who you are becoming, then you are in the right place. Let's grow tall together. Hello and welcome back. I'm super excited today to bring you our next guest on the Growing Tall Poppies podcast. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome our guest today, who is someone whose life has been shaped by two very different kinds of excellence. Stacey Nye grew up in an Olympic household. Around her family's dining room were some of the greatest sporting minds in the world, collaborating on planning and producing the world's biggest international events. She absorbed it all, and without knowing it, she was being prepared for something far greater than she could ever have imagined. Excellence wasn't something she admired from afar. It was simply the environment she grew up in. And she would go on to build an extraordinary 20-year international career herself, including producing 4 Olympic Games, the Commonwealth Games, and a Pan American Games. And Stacey developed what she calls her Rubik's Cube mind, the ability to see patterns, solve complexity, and bring extraordinary vision to life at the highest level. From the outside, it looked like she'd built the life that most of us would dream about. But underneath, another story was quietly unfolding. And for 6 years, Stacey lived in 2 worlds, powerful on the outside and unravelling on the inside. And then 6 years later, a single session with Daniel Flear, founder of the F.I.X code technique, changed everything. In that one moment, she made a vow to understand this work, master it, and bring it to the world. And for the past 16 years, that's exactly what Stacey has done. So please welcome to Growing Tall Poppies, Stacey Nye. It's great to have you here, Stace.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to burst into tears. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, it's just me. And then when you hear it said like that, like as I was reading it the other day when you sent it, I was like, oh my goodness, this woman is amazing.
Thank you. I have lots of bumps and bruises, just like everybody else, though. It's just that this technique has allowed me to move through it all with such grace. And I love that about this technique. Yeah.
And I can't wait for our listeners to hear more. So, Stacey, let's start with, as I read that introduction, it was very clear you grew up in what you describe as an Olympic home. Mm-hmm. Can you paint a picture for us of what that was like and what you did absorb from that environment?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, sure. I mean, the developmental stage between 0 and 7 is the imprint stage. And my imprint stage was 1976 Olympic Games. So I was watching it all be, talked about and built at the sport level. And, they were building what is now known as like FIFA, the International Federation of, soccer, football. But around my table was the gymnastics and the wrestling. And
Wow.
then they kept building and building out these international federations to move into these Olympic levels. And it was just pretty incredible to be a part of, as I just kind of hung over the back of the couch like a little kid watching this all go down in the dining room. But what I watched was the communication and how they all worked together. And there was never a point in my life, and I still actually am quite confused about this like man woman thing, because in my home they were people. They were, you know, in my family there was two girls. We were never treated as not boys. We were just as smart, we were just as strong, we were just as powerful, and we could always do anything. Like my father was always, reach for the stars and go for it. Like pick one and go for it. So I learned tenacity. I learned that there is no such thing as limitation or barriers. It's whatever you want, you can have and build and work towards. And then not only was I watching this all kind of be built, I then got to go to opening ceremonies in
Mm.
1976. So I saw the grandioseness of what they'd all talked about. I was at the 1976 gymnastics events where Nadia Comaneci
Oh,
got a
wow.
10, and my mother was actually the first judge in the world to give her the 10. So
Oh,
my mom was one of those judges giving Nadia Comaneci a 10 on I think it was vault. And so I was a part of all that. I watched an
mm.
athlete. I watched Nadia Comaneci get her 10 by my mother. you know?
That's so
So,
cool.
right? So it's like anything's possible in my mind because my parents never showed me limitations. Like whatever you wanted, just go build it and create it and live it. So, and without any doubt, I definitely grew up in a home where there was no doubt,
Mm.
and there was a lot of conversation of be the solution, like come to me with a solution. If you have an idea, come to me with the solutions, or let's talk it out. Don't come to me with problems. Come to me with
Mm.
solutions, and then let's talk them out. So I had a lot of this incredible reframing in my life. And I leaned into that like big time. I turned it all into a career. I absolutely loved my career at the international games level. And then I also did a lot of political events around the world. No, I'm not political, but I was in the operations side of things because that is my Rubik's Cube mind. I am not a writer. I am not a,
Mm.
publicist or, oh gosh, don't. No, no, no. I am a builder in the background. I am all operations. Like, how do we build these amazing ideas? So I've also turned my life into, bless you, how I turned my life into almost like my goal is to work and support amazing people that are that are doing amazing things in the world, and how can I support them achieving that. So this has been my last couple of years, the last 4 years of my life. I've traveled all over the world, working with amazing people that are of excellence, that have an
Mhm.
excellent idea, that but they don't know how to like put it into actual motion and in play. So they'll do all the government stuff and all the, the licensing and all of that kind of stuff, but I love taking people's ideas and then breaking them down and saying, let's get it done. Let's do it. So I've actually done that around the world. So if anybody wants to look up all those kinds of things in like in my life, that can be found at the Ashbury Center, which is my
Mhm.
personal website that's got,
Okay.
Stacey's philanthropy and who is Stacey and where does she come from. And I also have a lot of fun courses there too, that if anybody's interested in those fun courses, those are all there too. But
Excellent.
yeah, leaning into everything that my parents taught me was, if I were to sum it all up, it's like anything's possible.
Mm. I love that.
Anything, yeah, anything that you can think of is possible. There's no limitations. Yeah, until this particular night, which kind of took me into the next part of my life in
Mm.
my mid 30s, it was a horrible accident. And my husband at the time and we came out of it very like in different directions. Like we spun out of that night, like almost like two billiard balls, where it's just like, "Pew," like we went totally the other
Mm.
way
Okay.
from each other. So our marriage didn't make it through this trauma,
Mhm.
and it took about 6 years for it to really fall apart. But we'd been
Mhm.
married 20 years, or we had been together 20 years at that
Gosh, yeah.
time. And so, a lot of loss on that part of, we had massive financial loss. We had just loss of footing, like our lives were totally put upside down and turned upside down. And I didn't have actually any skills to be able to handle this. Like nothing had really happened to me that I had to have these kinds of skills. Now, one of the things that Daniel and I have figured out a long, long time ago now is that when a trauma moment happens, the shock, like our guard, right? Like the guard that protects us, like our armor, the whole thing that protects us. Okay. When we're in shock, that armor comes down, that guard comes down at the unconscious level, and we're like raw and open. And this is where we believe all of these parasitic programs come rushing in, which is what we call hurt, betrayed, like horrible feelings and fears. We call parasitic programs because they are. But that's what happened to me. I went into shock this night, and all of these parasitic programs came screaming into my space and into my physical body. And all of a sudden I felt terror, fear, panic, the craziness, the insanity, the over sensory, like the lights, the sirens, the helicopters. Like there was 2 helicopters, one for rescue and one to find the culprit or whatever that caused it. So it was like a police one and an ambulance one, but still like loud noises, crazy lights, like dogs barking, police dogs barking. And it was just crazy. So absolute oversensory overload. So I came out of this particular night fried. Like my nervous system was fried.
Oh, it would have been.
And like yeah. Oh yeah.
And those sensory things that you beautifully described there. I've been at a number of large community trauma events, and it's the helicopters overhead. Those noises stick with you forever, and they can trigger us forever. So often it's not so much what happened, it's those things that stick.
All of those things. Yeah. So I didn't really have a life that had a lot of triggers in it.
Yeah, of course.
Like if I was afraid to do something, so what? I did it anyways. It was like I took an extra breath. That's all I did. It was like, okay, this is going to hurt, and I do it anyways. Or, oh, this is a little scary. So what? Like I did it anyways. So I never, again, like didn't have skills, like a high EQ level of skill set to be able to navigate my way through this terror. It was terror. And what was interesting, I stayed silent for 6 years. I didn't say a word to anybody. I just navigated my way through all of this by myself. Because again, when this happened back in 2002, we didn't have words like anxious or anxiety or post-traumatic stuff. Like they just didn't exist. So there was no language for what I went through outside of like, get on with it, girl. Like, okay, like shit happens to people. Like get on with it. So I was trying. And again, at the time on the outside, I owned a gymnastics club. 7 days a week, 14-hour days. I had a child. I would, I couldn't fall down. Like there was no option here to go to bed and pull the covers over my head. I didn't have that option. I was still, a kind of a pillar in my community where people counted on me to do be a part of the Christmas parade festival organization team. And, I had a lot going on. So there was no room to fall apart, but I was absolutely unraveling on the inside. And then there was this kind of final moment when my marriage ended, which was now 6 years after the accident. That was kind of the fallout for me. And I was coping for short periods of time. And then, of course, I'd find myself crying in the car, crying in my office, and crying, like just weeping. Like there was never like a total let go, because I didn't have I didn't have the option to totally unravel. I couldn't. So then I met Daniel, and a friend of mine had met him at a holistic fair the weekend before. And he was doing this kind of woohoo thing that she was like, I can't explain. But how she explained me to Daniel, because we lived in different towns, and she said, and she lived in my town. And she said, oh my gosh, I know this girl. She actually owns a gymnastics club in our little town, and she knows everybody. Like she's an international girl. And I think that if she meets you and she likes what you're doing, she'll be able to help you put this on the international stage, like really get this out there. So this was like he was coming to do work with me to showcase the technique to me to see if I wanted to like do anything with it.
Okay.
And I am going to this thing saying to myself, if this guy makes me drink toad pee and it works, I'm drinking toad pee. Like I'm doing whatever this guy's got, I'm doing. And I really hope this works because I'm kind of not okay. So I went into this particular meeting and or the session, and my friend opened the door, and the moment Daniel and I saw each other, we knew we had known each other forever. It was
Wow.
my first words to him were actually like, "Oh my gosh, you're real," because I had seen him in my visions my whole life as an elder. Yeah, it was very surreal. So then he saw how sad I was, and he just said, "Oh my gosh, are you ever sad?" And I'm like, "Yes." And the mascara is now all down my face and going down my bra and the whole thing. And I sat down and he did the work with me. And you've experienced the work. It takes
Yes, I have.
5 minutes. It's
Yeah.
very effortless. It's very graceful. It's very beautiful. And when I opened my eyes, just as kind of you did, it was what, where did that feeling go?
What
Right.
happened?
So what happened? What just happened? And so this is when it's almost like my whole life came into this particular moment where it's like, this is what I've been training for my whole life. I know I'm in the presence of excellence. I know this is of excellence. The delivery is of excellence. Like it is in the purest form. And again, you've tried it, so you know it's like there's this purest form of quantum excellenceness
Mm.
that that is delivered or that the client moves through as you're having. It's a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, everybody's welcome to try it. Off of our website, we have complimentary sessions. So please just click through and go for it. So this particular day changed my life. And when we talk about earlier about that being in shock and all of these parasitic programs and horrible feelings coming in, this technique actually stops it. Like when we disconnect shock, then we disconnect all the horrible feelings and fears that were created from that trauma. And how we, you heal so fast and quickly because of how this technique is designed. And it's, like I said, you can move through all of these traumas with such grace with this technique, and it changes your life. It gives your life back,
Mm.
but then it catapults you into a whole other space. And I don't know if your listeners are into frequencies and timeline jumping and the whole thing, but like this is all about timeline jumping because as we release these lower level frequencies like shame, ashamed, hurt, betrayed,
Yeah.
guilt, all of those real lower ones, that struggle, the survival, the fear I'm
Yeah.
not going to make it, the fear I'm going to be poor, like whatever. Okay. All of that all the real lower level frequencies. As we start to disconnect all of this from you, you start to rise through the frequency. So yes, every time we rise up, we're going to come up against new frequencies or new parasitic programs because they didn't live low in that lower there. So like the next level, I'm making it up, but it's
Yeah.
like, the bottom one is like, the guilt and the shame and
Mm.
the big, big, big stuff. And then when we clear all that, you kind of go to the next level. And it's like, well, the fear that they may not like me. It's like, okay, that's like not life or death. Like,
Yeah.
that's not
Different
life
layers.
struggle. Different layers.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then it's like the fear of being a fraud, the fear of,
Mm.
making a mistake, the fear of failure, the fear of succeeding, like all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So as I've gone through my journey for 16 years, not only did I get my life back, but I was able to create a brand new foundation of who I was in a way. So it's like I kind of got myself back up to where I was, and then I just kept building upon. So anything that I go for in life now, if I have any kind of little wobble of any sort, and sometimes it knocks me right on my rear end, like it's a
Mm.
big fear because I've never been here before. It's like I can speak in front of 10,000 people without even a thought speaking to 100,000 people, like I may have a little bit of a fear there, like there might be a little bit of nervous. So I would again just do that code. And it's the same as I work with my clients in classes and stuff that I teach. Same thing with money. That game
Mm.
of like, how do you feel with $5? How do you feel with $20? How do you feel with $100? How do you feel with 100,000? So it brings out different fears or different
Yeah.
feelings as we start to evolve. And so, but this technique allows us to kick its butt every time we get higher, we we clear it and we can keep floating up and we clear the next so our lives just keep getting better and better and better.
And isn't it good that you had that foundation of excellence to start with anyway, but you beautifully articulated that you had that excellence and you knew how to strive, but you didn't have the basic skills that you needed to deal with trauma or adversity.
Oh my gosh, I had none.
No, so I think, that gives our listeners a really clear idea that, anyone can experience crappy stuff and still get through it. So you talk about when you're sitting opposite Daniel in that chair and the room didn't change, but you changed.
Yeah.
What happened inside you the day of that first extraction that made you completely change your life?
Literally totally changed my life. So as I was in this extraction and my feeling was sad, and I was really sad, and I had lots of reasons to be sad, but as you start to learn the technique, it's not about why you're sad. It's when you think about those events, how does it make you feel? That's the actual problem. It's how you feel about the event. And so the F.I.X code actually disconnects the feeling or the fear, not the event. So while I was sitting there having this sad extracted and I was seeing this sad come out kind of thing, and then I floated back to now and floated back into my body. I started talking like I was a little trucker. I had said so many swear words in a matter of 10 seconds that it was like, whoa. But I was in so much like, what just happened? Are you kidding me? This was incredible. And so as I was standing there or sitting and he was standing and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I am great. But like, where did that go? And so he said to me, so can you think of anything in your past now that when you think about it makes you feel sad? And I'm like, and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking for it. And it's like, and I'm waiting for it to tsunami me, like just take me over and start crying and the whole thing. And I'm like, where did it go? And his answer was kind of like, cool, right? And I'm like, cool? Like, this is way cooler than cool. And I said, I'm going to figure out what you just did and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. And his answer was, ooh, like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, yeah, no, you don't know me. Watch me. And I stuck my hand out and I said, hi, my name is Stacey. Because at this point, I didn't even know his name. He did not know my name. And I said, hi, my name is Stacey. And you are, and he told me Daniel. And I'm like, and do you have a business partner? And he said, no. I'm like, you do now. And he was kind of like, who is this little pit bull? Like, holy smokes. And I'm like, let's do this. So I was all in. And in that moment, did it. I said it out loud. And to this day, 16 years later, I have kept my promise. I totally figured out what he did.
Yeah.
I was like, I followed him for years, like a 2-year-old. Why do that? Why did you do this? Why did you say that? How come your hands are like this? And I went on and on because I don't have a background in this. This was not my industry. I did not come up in the healing world. I did not have, even though looking at my parents, totally holistic. I never gone to the doctors. I do not have a doctor. I am super healthy. I've always, and again, I was also a high performance athlete. So I knew nutrition. I knew how to heal the body from within. Like I had all of those kinds of basics, but definitely none of this, like not remotely a part of this world at all, or like life coaching or anything. Like none of that was my deal. Yeah. So this changed my life completely. So I spent a long time picking his brain to get everything out of his brain so I could figure out what he was doing. And then I put together an online training, which is I've heard is absolutely fabulous. Like everybody that takes it really enjoys it. And you really do learn how to do this technique. And then our community is incredible and you're paired up with somebody for the whole training. Like, and we have live training too once a month. Like there's a lot to our training and it's super fun. And like I said, our community is one of the most amazing communities, I think, in the world. Everybody is just so incredible. But then I also said to him at one point at the beginning of all of this, I said, okay, so like I have no interest in becoming a practitioner. of this. But we do need to know whether people can learn this, like whether it's actually teachable.
Yeah.
And I said to him, if you can teach me how to do this, you can teach anybody how to do this. Like I am like the bottom of the barrel of students or like any of it. So he taught me how to do it. And the next thing I said to him was, okay, so you taught me how to do it. Now let's see if I can actually make any money at it. Let's see if I can have, you guys call this what, a private practice or something? Yeah, let me see if I can do that. So, oh my gosh, I did it for 2 years, time of my life. I absolutely made money.
Fabulous.
I absolutely made a lot of money, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. So now it's like, okay, so now in a business way, we can say, yes, we have the knowledge now, like the transfer of knowledge. I've got it. Put it into an online training. It's teachable, and doing this, you can make money. So then it just kind of like kept exploding into, can we teach this to a group of people? Like, let's try this. So we taught it to this was before the online training. Because I didn't know anything about computers or how to do I owned a gymnastics club. I played with 4-year-olds, like I played crab tag. I was a very different life. So we did a live training, and I put like an email out or a text out, which my son had to teach me how to do a group text because I didn't know how to do that either. So he taught me how to do a group text, and I texted my clients and said, I've got 25 spots if anybody's interested in learning how to do what I do. And it was filled, like it was done, like in 8 hours, it was sold out. So I was like, okay, that happened. I guess we're teaching this. And I kind of looked at Daniel and went, oh shit, like we actually now have to do this. So we did it, and we had a blast. And within the weekend, everybody knew how to do it. So they did all the modules. We did module 1 all the way through to module 10, like go, 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 go. And at the end of the Sunday afternoon, the whole room was doing it, and everybody was getting extractions and healing, and everybody's just floating. It was just like, Amazing. It was incredible.
Excellent.
And then I turned it into an online training. Then I had to like sit down and learn Kajabi and learn how to do videos and like the whole thing. But yeah, so it was, none of this was my world. Like computers, videos, like, no, I'm the back of the house. I do not do front stage. I'm not a teacher. I'm not any of these things. And yet I shot my mouth off that day on the first day I met him, and I followed through. No matter how uncomfortable I was, no matter how silly I felt or whatever, I did it. And I love my life.
That's, yeah. And you can see that as you talk about this. I mean, even as you were talking about the household you grew up in, you were glowing and you've had this wonderful life, but you did also go through the darkest night of the soul. So you've had both extremes.
And it was over a 20-year period, because it was, the loss just kept coming.
Yeah.
Like every time I got my footing, another loss. And then I got my footing, and then another loss. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And that was just part of the process of letting go of everything to become the person that we're here to be. So I feel for every single person going through this journey of ascension. I really do, because your ass is going to get kicked. You're going to lose stuff. You're going to lose everything. The harder you hang on, the harder it's going to be to rip out of your hands. And we have a choice. We can stop at any time.
Yeah.
I keep choosing to move forward, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much my butt's getting kicked, because I have this tool called the F.I.X code that no matter what comes at me, I can heal and get through it. And it's 5 minutes. You tried it. It's 5 minutes.
It is. Yeah. Very quick and very powerful. So, Stacey, what kind of people do you find are drawn to this work?
Oh, people that want to help people. So people like transformational healers, life coaches love this. Psychotherapists love this. People that have existing practices love it, because they can just learn it and then bring it right into their private practice. But my point, like way back when, was because I had no other modalities. Like this wasn't my jig.
No,
like, not at all. Yeah, like I hadn't been studying for 30 years of like all the other modalities. Like no, and I don't want to learn those. Like I'm good. I love the F.I.X code. I'm good. But that anybody that wants to start their own private practice, like I did it. I made a ton of money.
Yeah.
So it's totally possible to come to be a beginner of a private practice concept
Mm-hmm.
and turn this into a fabulous private practice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, a lot of people have done training, they're well educated, they've got degrees, but there's a lot of people in my world that are quite frustrated because they're feeling that helping people heal from trauma and things like that takes a really long time. So you're not saying it's
Not with
this
this.
miracle cure, but you're saying that you can definitely work through layers and give people a different way of seeing things so that they
Yes.
can take control of their own life. And I love that. I
Yeah.
love that so
Yeah.
much.
And it's fast. The healing is fast.
Yes.
And there's going to be more healing. But
Mm-hmm.
if they come back and want more, it means that they're at a new level because
Yes.
the last thing that was bothering them isn't bothering them anymore.
No.
Which
So,
I've never in 16 years done the same thing twice ever.
mm.
Like with the same person. It's like I have it. It doesn't come back.
Exactly. And that's that when you've done that change at that deep root unconscious level, that it's there to stay. And it's very much like the work that I do. And it's so powerful and it just makes such a difference. And you can see the look in the way they sit, the way they act, the way their eyes look changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you look back and you think about the woman you were before all of this, the one with that foundation of excellence and the woman sitting here today, who have you become as far as at an identity level? Because it's the identity stuff, the work that's the main thing for me now, really looking at what beliefs you had to let go of about yourself.
Yeah. So I would say prior to the night of the accident, which was I was 32 at the
Mm-hmm.
time, or 33, I was still a kid. I had, again, like my dad was in the industry. He was president of the Canadian Olympic Federation. He was president of the Commonwealth Federation. So it didn't matter where I went. My dad was still the ultimate boss. So I felt I was very protected. Now again, I didn't know all of that then.
No.
Like I thought I was a renegade and I was on my own and doing my own thing. Yeah. No. Like,
Nah.
when I look back on it, I was still a kid, kind of working in my dad's company, but so, and everybody knew that he was my dad. Not that I ever talked about him or whatever, but like people in the know knew who my dad was. And so I was protected even by people that I didn't even know. So I would say like from I was still a kid. And that night absolutely ripped all of that like naivety out of me, which was really sad because I was beautifully naive, like wonderfully happily, truly like a little Buddha baby. Like I'm good, like life is good. And I still do have an incredibly positive attitude about life because I love life. I love life. But when it all got scary after that night, now that particular night, when it all was when all the chaos was happening, I had just peed on a stick. I was on a pregnancy stick. So I'm coming out into a situation that was absolute chaos, not knowing what was happening with a pregnancy stick, thinking it was going to be one of those happy moments that was going to be a forever, remember moment. Yeah, well, it was. Just not the way I thought. Exactly. So like the pregnancy stick went flying. So as I'm going through all of this trauma, I'm also processing as a woman, I'm going to be a mom. I'm pregnant. And it was like, so it was also darbly. Like it was chaos in my head for sure.
Yeah, it would have been.
So coming out of that, I had to really protect myself because now I know that I kind of bubble to myself hardcore to say like, no matter what, I am protecting this baby and me to get through the pregnancy and, and he's going to be okay. Like, the doctors kept telling me like, hopefully, he's going to make it. And like, but they didn't know. There was a while where we didn't think my husband was going to make it.
Gosh.
So it was all very scary. And we also were not in the country that we live in, like that we're from. We were in another country. So again, like everything was different. The laws were different. Everything with how they dealt with things was different. We went bankrupt in like 12 seconds. We were bankrupt and we were very flush as in our 30s, like and we went bankrupt like that. So
Oh,
everything all
goodness.
happened at once because again, we
Mm.
were out of country. Even though we had insurance, yeah,
Yeah, right.
we went.
Mm.
And then through, I would say, the 20 years from like 2003 to
Mm-hmm.
2000 and call it 23. My son was born in 2003, and then it was just growing up. It was so many growing pains of everything from
Mm.
being a first-time mom, like not knowing how to do anything, a fear of all of it. Like, and I'm
Yes.
sure every mom is out there. The first-time mom, we're afraid of everything. Like, are they
Yes.
sleeping? Are they breathing? Are they dead? Am I going to drown them? Is the water too hot, too cold? Like, it was crazyville in my head, and I think many moms had that. I just
Oh,
was
definitely.
also in the trauma of what had happened to me only
Mm.
9 months before. And again, looking back on it, I absolutely was struggling with all of it, but never showed anybody any struggle. Like, people that knew me back then would say, "You were the most relaxed mom ever. Like, you just kind of rolled with everything." And I'm like, "Oh, if you only knew what was going on in my, and
Yeah.
my heart was pounding and I'm sweating like crazy." But nobody saw all that. So
Yeah.
I was a good actress.
So, yeah,
And
can I just go back to that? Because that's what I see the clients that
yeah.
I work with and a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are those really high functioning, high achieving women who
Mm-hmm. I'm
are
asking.
on the outside coping really well, successful.
Yeah.
They've got the business. They've got
Yeah.
all their shit together, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you were doing that from the outside. No one knew.
Yeah.
So did you hide all of this extremely well, or were you crying out for help and no one was listening?
No, I was hiding it very well.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Like star athlete. Like, nobody knew. And until my marriage ended. And then it
Yeah.
was like, oh, now I'm not okay. Like, now
Yeah.
now I am crying. And I'm alone with a 5-year-old. Like,
Mm.
oh wow, like that got scary. So it's like my world was scary, but I always had him. And
Yeah.
then when we got separated, it was, oh my God. And the other thing that again, I have courses like with divorce and parenting courses, and I've got all sorts of stuff because again, I've gone through it all. So I
Yeah.
can talk about it all with true authenticity. It sucks. All of it,
Yes, definitely.
all of that sucks. But it's like, you know, you go through a separation and all of a sudden you have that reality moment of, oh my gosh, not only am I doing this on my own now, I'm responsible for everything,
Mm.
and simultaneously just lost my future. Every future event that I've ever planned or seen is now gone.
Oh,
So
dear.
I have to not only fall apart, but rebuild at the same time. So,
Mm.
oh my gosh, my heart was breaking. So when I met Daniel and he started to do this work with me really quickly, like I
Mm.
was like, and I was one of those clients that says, no, 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 and another one, and I'll book you for the next hour. I don't care. Let's keep going. I am not letting you walk out of this door with me feeling anything but great. And he's
Mhm.
like, okay, like we could be doing this for 8 hours. I'm like, then I'm booking you for 8 hours. Let's do this. So I was like determined because the moment I found this, I knew it worked. It's like, no, I just found what works. And
Yeah.
I've never taken a medication in my life. I've never taken any, like, I haven't had a drink in 35 years. Like, I've never taken a medication for anything in my life. Like, and again,
Gosh.
it's not because I'm against them or anything. I just never crosses my mind. I never once
Mm.
crossed my mind to go talk to somebody or get a medication or whatever. Just never crossed my mind. I white knuckled the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, when I met Daniel, this changed my life because this is absolutely, it's designed for everybody. Like, every single
Mm.
person on the planet can benefit from this.
Yeah,
But if you have high-end clients and your listeners are high-end clients that
they
are
are.
like, put together, boss bitches, they're great ladies. This is it. Like, this is an incredible technique because your fears or your doubts or your insecurities can be dealt with this technique without anybody ever revealing why or who, like, none of it.
Mm.
And it's instant. So I believe it was you that was asking me about my clients. I have high-end clients that hire me for like 5-minute intervals. So they're like walking on a plane and they're like, I am losing my shit right now. And I'm like, okay, I got you. What's going on? and I ask them the magic question. They give me the word and we do it, and they're walking on the plane, or they're just sitting on the plane on the tarmac waiting for the sign to say, turn off your phones, please. Go to airplane mode. And they're like, okay, I got this. Or they're walking into an elevator, or they're going up an escalator to a meeting, or they're in their car and they're all of a sudden not okay to be doing this $1 billion deal. I have pro athletes that, they get the yips, or they all of a sudden are not chosen for the lead. They're not the prima donna this particular time. They're like the understudy or whatever it is. And their hearts are crushed. And it's like, okay, let's get through this. And it's not months of healing. It's 5 minutes. Or we might do 2, which will take all of 10 minutes. Like 2 feelings, like heartbroken and angry, that I didn't get chosen that time. Or, people in auditions, or people going into job interviews or presentation, whatever is going on in that, executive world, the CEO world. This is your secret weapon. And all of my clients would say so. I've helped people through, the restructuring of companies. I've helped people with all of their staff, like staffing issues and things like that, morale, like salary negotiations. Like I will, like, that's all, I go through all of that with my clients. Again, none of it means anything to me, but if they're afraid of asking for the money, extra money, or if they're afraid of asking for something, again, it's 5 minutes. When you think about whatever you want, how does that make you feel? And they might say, fear of not getting what I want. It's like, closure. And we do the fear of not getting what you want. That's gone. And now I'm like, how do you feel now talking to the owners? And they're like, yeah, like I belong at whatever, So it changes how you feel immediately.
Excellent. So we've talked about how high functioning, high achieving women become particularly good at hiding when they're struggling. You and I are both prime examples of that.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening right now and they're exhausted from pretending everything is okay, that mask is there, but underneath they're quietly unraveling, what is the first thing you'd want them to hear?
That there's help. Like literally go to the F.I.X code technique, the website, the F.I.X code, click the button that says book your complimentary session here, fill out the little form, you get popped over to a practitioner's page. And these women that are on this practitioner page are volunteering their time to showcase this technique to help you, to prove that this works every single time. From there, once you enjoy your session with whoever you pick, you can then book sessions with them. You can do courses that are on the Asbury Center. You can, contact me, become one of my clients. I'd love that. But yeah, there's so many avenues. Like there's help. There's like almost like, and I say this to people all the time. It's like, I got you. Like, I got you. It's okay. Like no matter what is going on, I got you. And my clients literally say that. They're like, no, she's literally got me. Doesn't matter where I am in the world, what I'm going through. All I have to do is text Stacey and she's got me. And we do the work, and that horrible feeling is gone. Yeah. So any practitioner that studied this technique has got you. Yeah.
I love that. And just that reassurance, that 3 little words, I got you. So Stacey, I know you've already mentioned it a little bit, but as we move to wrapping up the conversation, where can our listeners find out more about you and follow you online? I'll definitely put everything in the show notes.
Sure. Yeah, I don't really do a lot of like social media stuff, but because again, I'm back at the scenes. I like being back in the back doing the work, and helping people. So, and I'm quite private. So I like being private, but you can go to the F.I.X code.com. And like I said, all of our information is there. Who we are, who Daniel is, what we do from a course perspective of the online training to learn how to do this. And then if you want to learn more about the Asbury Center, you can pop over to the Asbury Center through other courses and do all those kinds of courses if you want, like Passion to Purpose and The Bridge to Your Authentic Self. And like these are big, hardcore courses. And the interesting part about the Asbury Center courses, which is me, is that it's all fueled by the F.I.X code, like this technique. But it's my journey through all of my stuff. So it's very raw, it's very real, and there's no masking, there's no performing, there's no pretending. It is raw and real. And from the feedback that I get from people, they love the journey of these videos and this course, and it asks hardcore questions. But again, with the courses, you then turn around and purchase a practitioner to back you up, to have you in the courses. So it's like everything we've designed comes down to, I got you. It's okay. I got you. Yeah.
I love that so much. And yeah, I think that a lot of people will go and check it out and want to know more about it, but you've done a beautiful job of sharing your story and helping us understand where you've come from, what you went through, but also showing what is possible. So thank you so much for sharing.
Everything is possible. You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on your show, and I hope some of your guests get something out of this and try it.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Now, I always like to finish by asking all of my guests, what do you think your younger self would think of what you've achieved, or if that little girl sitting around the Olympic dinner table could see you today, what do you think she'd say?
Way to go, girl. Yeah. Because my family was all about supporting at the highest level, so that amazing people could have a platform to become, like, to heal and perform, whether that's at the Olympic level or. So for me, with the F.I.X code, my goal is to support amazing people that are that want to do, or are already doing, or going to go do amazing things. So I truly am, the F.I.X code and I and all of our team, we are the support system to launch you into helping you get rid of all the blocks that are stopping you, so that you can go do what you're supposed to go and do on this planet, versus being trapped in the matrix and shut down and, tired and exhausted and fearful and all that stuff. So we at the F.I.X code break you out of the matrix. Like, it's because the fear's gone, the horrible feelings are gone, and you get to just go live your big life.
Oh, I love that so much. And I know that there's so many people listening to this that are going to go, oh my gosh, yes, because a lot of the work that I do is around people just feeling capped at this invisible ceiling, and there's something going on and they're not sure, but this gets right to that root cause really quickly and can help break through it.
And then you catapult.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Like, the breakthroughs are so fast with this technique. So fast. Yeah. And I know I'm doing it. Like, I'm living it. I have a fabulous life. Yeah.
And I think that, that's what adds that other layer to this, that you are real. You've lived it, so you're living proof. And I think that, we've become very skeptical, as we know, as a society, and can show anything on social media, but people get it when you're real. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't really do it. One, it's not my personality. So I've tried it. Don't get me wrong. I've tried all the things that I'm told to do through marketing. I've done all that, but it's not real. Like, it's not authentic. I don't like it. I'm totally performing, and it's like, wow. So, but I think that's also why I designed it, so that everybody could try this for complimentary. So that if you want the proof, we're not hiding anything. Like, come and try it. Like, we even got people that are willing to donate their time to show you this for free.
Exactly.
So we're not hiding anything. We're not showing we're not making anything up. Like, come and we'll prove it every single time. Yeah. Like, we're real. We really are real people. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any final words of wisdom you'd like to leave our listeners with before we finish up today?
That you can do anything you want. Anything. That with the F.I.X code, there is no stopping. There's no blocks. There's no fear. There's no nothing. So it really is. The F.I.X code allows you to build the life you want for real. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for being a guest on here today. It's been delightful chatting.
Lovely.
Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you for spending this time with me on Growing Tall Poppies. My hope is that today's episode has offered you something more than insight, that it's helped you feel a little more connected to who you are now, a little more trusting of your body, and a little more permission to stand tall without shrinking or forcing yourself forward. Post-traumatic growth isn't about fixing yourself or returning to who you once were. It's about understanding how you adapted, honouring your nervous system, and gently choosing what no longer needs to come with you. New episodes of Growing Tall Poppies are released weekly, every Tuesday, and I'd love for you to continue walking this path with us as we explore identity after adversity, integrity and visibility wounds, nervous system wisdom, and what it truly means to grow forward, grounded, aligned, and embodied. If this episode resonated, I invite you to subscribe, follow, share it with someone that you feel might need it, or simply take a quiet moment to reflect on what's ready to move forward for you. You can also find me on Instagram at Dr. Nat Green, on Facebook at Dr. Natalie Green, or over on YouTube at Dr. Nat Green. And remember, you don't need to rush, and you don't need to hide anymore. Stay connected, stay true, and keep standing tall like the tall poppy you are. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.